Do videos in one day. Actually, it'll probably be more than two because I'm going to split up my wall of books for October into more than one video so that they don't get too long. So I'm going to do a column of books at a time. This will be just column 1 of 3 of my wall of books TBR for October. My wall of books is literally the books I'm going to pull from for that month when I'm putting together what I'm going to read each week. Theoretically, this is all the books I'm looking at when I'm picking my TBR for each week. Realistically, there are other books. There are always other books, but most of the time I do finish some of the wall of books each month. And it's a nice way of shuffling my books so that I'm aware of books I might not have thought of for a while from my shelves. And so I don't get decision fatigue. Narrowing down your options to a smaller subset of all the books you have makes it easier to decide which books to focus on next when you finish a book. So, without further ado, here is column 1 of my wall of books. And I'll get out of the way of my books so you can see kind of what we're working with here. So my wall of books is actually 3 columns of books, and they are, see if I can move the computer without making it fall over. They are all the way to the floor, and there are books behind them, so you won't see the column very clearly from that, but it gives you an idea. This is not a small stack of books. So the column I'm going to start with is the one on this far end, and it includes a couple books that I've already talked about today, my library books, so I won't talk about them too much. And I'm not going to talk a lot about any one book. This is the rest of the books I own from the Conan the Barbarian series, which I've already read a few books of. And I'm going to consider this kind of all one thing, because when I start it, I will probably go through all of them. And I did come across an audiobook that's basically all of them in one audiobook. I don't know what all of them means, if it's literally all of the stack plus a few I don't own, or if there will still be some I have to read in print. But I'm hoping to finish Conan in October. Alright, so there's those. I have an Andre Norton, Knave of Dreams. I've read quite a few Andre Nortons. My sister and I have been working on them, trying to finish all the Andre Norton books ever. She has died quite a while ago now, so that makes it a lot easier to read all of an author. If they're alive and still writing, as soon as you think you've read all of them, they write another book, which is lovely. But if you really want to be, checking off all the books and then moving on to another author, the ones that wrote a lot of books and are no longer writing books are really convenient. I do really like her books. It would be nice if she wrote more. But it'll be nice when I'm done with them, just so that I can say, yay, I finished all of Andre Norton. Then I have 12 Caesars, which I've read, I think, 2 Caesars so far. So I may not finish all of this in October, because I've been taking them one Caesar at a time. It's got a couple bookmarks in it. One fun thing, my sister and I did a lot of coloring. See this bookmark? It's shiny. So we used to do a lot of coloring. I still have some coloring pages I'm going to do eventually. They're great stress relief. And when you're done with them, a lot of people just throw them out. Some people save all of them. We do a lot of coloring. So we cut them up in strips and make them into bookmarks. So they make pretty bookmarks. And my sister got one of those laminating machine things that she can laminate them now. And she got these kind of prism-y films that she laminates them with. So our latest batch of coloring bookmarks are not only full color, they are shiny laminated prism-y things. Then we have my stack of library books. Only 3. It's amazing. I used to have up to 40 library books at a time. Some days I still am tempted, and there will be times where I go back to having lots. But right now, that's all I have. Kathy Reichs is the next one. Fatal Voyage. This is another author that I lose track after a while of which ones I have and haven't read. It would be nice if I could just finish all of them and, not have to keep track. But if I catch up, then it's just recent books that I have to still read. So this is one I haven't read yet. I've double checked. I have had a few where I thought I hadn't read them and I got a third of the way in. I'm like, I know how this ends already. I have The House of Aloha, which I've been told is a good Halloween season read. So I will be reading this one probably closer to the end of the month. The Bartemius Trilogy, Book 3. I may hunt down books 1 and 2 so I can read the whole trilogy in order. But this one is on my TBR so that hopefully I find the other 2. Here's another Andre Norton. This one is one where she wrote with someone else. So Andre Norton and Sherwood Smith, Voices or Echoes in Time. So more Andre Norton, closer to my goal. Village Life in Northern India. I got a bunch of books for free from various tables and boxes when I was in college, especially in grad school. But if you knew where to look, a lot of professors would offload the books they didn't want anymore by leaving them in boxes outside their door with a free sign on them. I love this, and I really miss that part of academia. Because I got all sorts of books that, they might not be something you want to use as a reference anymore for papers, but they're still good reading if you haven't read them yet and are just looking for fun history read. Fun, in quotes, if you don't like dry history. This is a book I got from my sister's library that's living here at the moment. So when I finish it, it goes back to her. Called Parallel Universes, in Search for Other Worlds. I think it's about the nature of the universe and metaphysics sort of stuff. I guess it is still possible that there are parallel universes. We haven't ruled that out in physics yet, so it could be the case, and a lot of sci-fi rests on the possibility. A lot of faster than light travel relies on parallel universes. Next we have End of Watch by Stephen King. I have read Mr. Mercedes and Finders Keepers, which are referenced on the front. I've read about almost half of Stephen King so far. So there's actually 2 in this stack. I'll be closer to finishing Stephen King soon. Purity by Jonathan Franzen. I got this from the dollar store when it was still $1. And I've read 2 Jonathan Franzen books so far. I like his writing, so I should probably enjoy that one. This is a book I got off a free shelf. Several people recommended it to me, so I figure I'll read it. It was free. This also came from the same free shelf on the same day, and I might like it more. It's Billy the Kid, a biography by Michael Wallace. I live in the West, so I do like history books that talk about the West. Dragonfly, it's space nonfiction. We'll see how it goes. This one I think also came from my sister. This is one I got from the library's book sales system. I think it actually came from their bookstore. our library system does actually have a brick and mortar bookstore. And then Parkskins by Annie Proulx. This one I started about 2 months ago. You can see the bookmark. I did not get very far in it, so I'm still working on it. It's set in Canada, I think. Certainly in the woods. I don't know if it's north of the U.S.-Canada border. I think it is. This one's one I got from the library's bookstore for sure. I've been meaning to read Geraldine Brooks for a while, so this will be my first by her. 3 more. Dreamcatcher by Stephen King. This will be the second Stephen King for October. And I might do more Stephen King if I really get into it, but I think that'll be enough for 1 month. Another space nonfiction book. This one I got from a neighbor, and he really loves this book, so I'm supposed to read it and tell him what I thought. We'll see. I do really like space and space science stuff, but this one looks a bit old, so I'm not really sure if I'll find it as exciting as he did. The neighbor was a pilot, and he's in his late 70s or 80s, so the books he has tend to be from his days when he was still a pilot. So they tend to be nice and nerdy, and I'm hoping that this is one of those, without being too terribly dated. The last one I read from him was a bit dated. So hopefully there aren't very many reviews of this one on Goodreads. So the last book from the stack is another nonfiction. So it's a lot of nonfiction. Apache Wars, which is a fairly recent book. Might actually be like super recent. So I think I got this one as a giveaway prize book. Yeah, so it's copyright 2016. So it's fairly recent. Also about the West. So lots of nonfiction so far. Stephen King and Conan with a few other things mixed in. That is column 1 of my TBR for October. So stay tuned for volume 2 of my TBR for October. And for now, have fun putting your TBRs together for the next month. Let me know what you are reading for October. And if you've read any of the books I've mentioned so far that I will be hopefully getting to. Talk to you soon. Bye.